As you may or may not know, my wife and I just got back from Vegas. It was a great trip. We ate, we drank, we had a blast. But then we got home and looked at the credit card, and I gotta say, it doesn't matter how much fun you're having, $25 for a drink is a ripoff. Frickin' Vegas. I hate getting ripped off, and so do the lads over at Harry's. They spent years watching the razor blade companies rip people off and said, no more. Not all heroes wear capes, my friends, and they want to prove that they're legit by offering you hot dogs a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. I've been telling you about them for months, and I'm genuinely proud to have Harry's as a sponsor of this show. I wasn't kidding. The plastic, futuristic-looking crap razors you get at the store are overpriced and they're poor quality. Harry's blades are crisp, clean, and classy. They're the kind of razor you'd expect your grandpa to have on his bathroom counter. And most importantly, they work. Shave after shave, they're so smooth, they're precise. I used to go through the crappy store blades all the time, but Harry's are built to last. And they're not just better quality than the other names, they're more affordable. And they deliver. Just set your schedule, and for as little as $2, new blades, shaving creams, lotions, everything you need, right to your door when you need it. I genuinely cannot think of a reason not to try Harry's. And I'm not just saying this because they're sponsors. They're the best shaving supplies I've ever used. Try them out, and if you're not happy, your shave's on them. And unlike the other subscriptions, they're really easy to cancel if you want to too, which is a nice bonus, but believe me, you're not going to want to cancel. Getting ripped off isn't funny. Switch to Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. That's harrys.com/RTG for a $3 trial set. Remember the Game is brought to you by my website, abcomedy.net. You can find old episodes of both of my podcasts, along with my blog, and information on all of my upcoming comedy shows. And if you're looking for a comedian for your next event, you can contact me through my website as well. Again, abcomedy.net. And if you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe to it, and please leave us a good review. I'd really appreciate it. There'll be a new episode for you every single Wednesday. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I hope you enjoy the show. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. It has Geno. You get to play as Bowser. Mallow's there too, but he sucks. You guys, what is up? Welcome to Remember the Game, episode 9. My name is Adam Blank, and this week my buddy Kevin and I review one of the best RPGs, not just on the Super Nintendo, but of all time, in my opinion, and that is Super Mario RPG. I love this game. I know it's not as deep and as complex as some of the other RPGs out there, but it is a guilty pleasure of mine. It is the ultimate comfort food. Nintendo and Square murdered it. They found a perfect combination of role-playing and Mario to put to... Oh, this game is so good. I like the Paper Mario games too, but when are we going to get a sequel to Super Mario RPG? Do it. I remember seeing a clip of this game on Video and Arcade Top 10, I think it was. Remember that show? When I was a kid, and it blew my mind, and to this day, the graphics just make me happy. I love it. I love the soundtrack. I love the combat. I love everything about this game. Oh, this game's good. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to get right to my conversation with Kevin, where we basically just gush about it for another half hour. I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and here we go. Super Mario RPG. Mallow sucks. I feel like Mario RPG sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of the Super Nintendo RPGs because there's so many.
And also, it was like, I don't know. For me, it came off as just like a fun side project almost.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
But in all honesty, it's one of the games that made me like RPGs in general.
Me too. Yeah.
It's really easy to access as far as like it doesn't have a complicated battle system. It's fun. Almost all the characters are familiar. Like, it's a great entry level JRPG to find out whether or not you even like the genre.
I agree with that. I actually really like, one of my favorite things about that game is the combat, because when you play like,
it is, yeah.
You know, when you play like the Final Fantasy games and stuff, Final Fantasy games are like the gold star for fucking JRPGs, right? At least in the Super Nintendo days. Like,
depending on what kind of JRPG you like.
Sure.
But yeah, Square Enix and their whole run of Final Fantasies, they had a very sort of like well done formula almost. And like if you liked one style of Final Fantasy, there's probably something for you to check out in the whole series.
Agreed.
So you might not like all of them as much as the others, but like you could still get something out of it and find out whether or not you like it. It was a familiar system to sort of like deal with, but like, yeah. And the combat system that we were talking about, Super Mario RPG had like just a little bit extra sort of like involvement. You had like the critical button presses and stuff like that, and that kept it sort of fresh.
Yeah, the timed hits and the timed defensing or blocking and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool because like, yeah, like it was one of the first RPGs I played, but it was the first one I played where I couldn't just like button mash. I mean, you could still button mash your way through a fight, but it was so much more fun to go for those timed hits. Like it gave you a reason to pay attention on an easy fight.
And, add an element of skill instead of just picking from a list of moves and then casting Cure All at the end of a turn. Because like, in Final Fantasy 3 that I'm playing right now I'm playing the 3D remake on the DS.
Yeah.
So not Final Fantasy 6, but the original Final Fantasy 3.
Okay.
And that's the one with like several characters and like 20 something jobs, and any character can be any job.
Right.
No matter what sort of party system I figure out, I always have to have a healer.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So it's like one character, all they do is just heal
the
rest of the characters, and it feels useless. Like a little, it doesn't feel useless. It feels like I have an obligation to have a healer.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. There wasn't too much focus on that kind of stuff in Super Mario RPG. It was just like you were playing the characters as they were, and like you had to like use items and stuff to heal, but it was like it felt more fluid.
It's I mean, it's an easy game. Like I don't find it hard at all. Like I don't remember, because I've probably played through that game. I bet you the only RPG I've played through more times than Mario RPG is maybe Earthbound.
Yeah.
Like I've played Mario RPG through a dozen times, and I can't remember other than that one fight at is it like the Monster Village or something? You remember there's that Final Fantasy boss where you can fight the 4 like crystals or whatever?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, there's like a secret Final Fantasy homage boss. It's actually like probably the hardest boss in the game.
He is. Yeah. Outside of him, it's not a very difficult game, but it's fun. Like it's like, and you're right. Like there's not. Like, I mean, because you have Mallow and Princess can both heal.
Yeah.
So usually you have one of them in your party. But, like, I don't know about yourself. Like, so, okay, so for the, like, you always have to be Mario.
Yeah.
Which kind of irritates me. Like, I understand it. But in all those games, like, I just finished playing Mario Rabbids on my Switch.
Okay.
It was a really fun game, too. But it was the same thing. You have, like, a party. You build a 3-member party. But you always have to have Mario. It's always got to be fucking Mario. And I love Mario. But it's like, I would have liked to have rolled a team of Bowser, Geno, and Princess. Like, you know, that would have been my dream team.
Yeah.
So yeah, so but Mario's dope, I guess. He's handy. Yeah. And then you get Mallow. Mallow, as soon as you can, like, I'll ask you this. Like, as soon as you can get rid of Mallow, do you use him at all? Because I didn't use him at all once I could get rid of him.
I probably used him a little bit more than most people just because I liked him. He was not as useful a character.
No, he's the Martin Prince of video fucking Super Nintendo RPGers. He's just crap.
But I just liked the character.
Like the character's okay.
He's a little dork, and like I was a little dork.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got on with it because I'm definitely not Mario. When I'm like looking at the game, I'm like Mario's the cool guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not even Luigi. So fuck.
See, I think Geno's the cool guy. Geno's the best dude. Like
he's like the cool guy from another school that like he's completely mysterious.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's exactly who he is.
I can't think of another character in Nintendo's like lore that has only ever had one appearance but has the fan base that Geno has. Like I've seen people calling for Geno in Smash Brothers and like whereas like what like, and I'm like, dude, he's had one game. Like, and I guess like Ness and what's his name are in Smash Brothers and they only have one game. But he's like he's not even the main character in his one game.
Yeah, but no, he's got like a huge following. And was he even like a mandatory character to get, or could you miss him?
No, you had to get him.
There
was no optional ones. Yeah, you had to get him. But the thing is like, because when you recruit, because like so you have Mario, you get Mallow pretty quick, and then you get Geno. And that's your first 3 army and like as soon as you get a hold of Geno, you're like, this, like he's your tank, like he's your first tank. You're like, this guy can do some damage. He's awesome. But then you get a hold of Bowser.
Tanks don't do damage. Tanks
take damage, right?
Damage.
Pardon me. So what would you call someone that does damage? Like a barbarian?
I don't know, man.
Because you're right, a tank takes damage.
Like the only reason I'm like pointing that out is like I play a lot of Borderlands, and it's like tanking is like a huge part of my play style in that game.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, like
And they can take a pounding.
yeah,
Okay.
it is like you have a lot of like you have a lot of health regen, you have a lot of defense, and like I guess maybe tanks can deal out damage too.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
like a monk could like monks are typically known to like deal out damage, but no one calls them like monks.
Yeah, I don't want to call Geno a monk. He's too cool to be a monk.
Yeah.
Okay,
That-
well,
that-
Geno's-
and that's like a Final Fantasy term, or like a fucking what are we calling like World of Warcraft term?
Yeah. Geno's a badass.
Yeah,
We'll go with
yeah.
that.
Let's just call him badass.
Geno's
Fuck-
badass.
Fuck all these
But the-
video game terms, you nerds.
So it's like it's kind of funny because like you have Mario, then you get Mallow and Geno, and then that's your first like 3-character team. And basically you have like the healer in Mallow, and you've got like the damage dealer in Geno, and then Mario kind of does everything, right?
Yeah.
And then you get a hold of Bowser, and then shortly after you get Bowser, you get Princess. And like I always found when I played that game, like Bowser is the stronger Geno and Princess is the more usable Mallow. So like once I got a hold of Bowser and Peach, I didn't even use those other 2 characters were like footnotes.
Yeah. Peach,
You know?
Peach had the advantage of actually also being able to do a bit more damage.
She was good character, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bowser
You get that frying pan, just wham.
Yeah, and then Bowser, like my favorite Nintendo character of all time is Bowser by a mile. Like I love Bowser, and I think this was the game that made me like him because like some people call the graphics from Mario RPG ugly. I think they look sweet, and I think Bowser looks so cool in this game.
I've never heard anyone complain about the graphics. All your friends must suck.
No, I went online. It was like it's online. People complain about everything.
I hate.
But it was Reddit, and everyone was like talking about the blocky like textures and shit. I'm like, you just are stupid kids that don't know what it was like. Because I'm like, this was one of the best looking games on the Super Nintendo.
Dude, it's probably nostalgia talking, but I remember that game looking crisp.
Dude, yeah. Like I replayed it. It was one of the first games I replayed when I got my Super Nintendo Classic. And I fucking like I'm like it looks so good. And again, Bowser in particular in that game looks so dope. And then his weapons where he can like throw a chain chomp or he can pick up he can pick up Mario and throw Mario at the bad guys.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that Mario and Bowser teamed up.
Yeah.
Like outside of maybe like Super Mario Kart where they were in the same like game.
Yeah.
But they weren't like fighting. It was the first time where I was like, I thought it was so cool to see this hero and this bad guy like team up for the first time.
And in all honesty, like playing the game, it didn't seem weird. Like I don't know. I never really thought of like Mario and Bowser as like enemies per se. Like Bowser was definitely the antagonist, but
Yeah.
I never really like they were united pretty quickly with a common cause, and it made sense to me.
Yeah, that's because that's one of the other things I wanted to talk about is like I really do enjoy the script for this game.
Yeah,
I think it's I mean the plot is kind of like whatever, this sword crashes and breaks up the star and you got to get the 7 stars back.
it's totally a regular like world-ending RPG
Sure.
plot line, but it's like it's with familiar characters
Yeah.
that are super fun.
Yeah.
And like it's not as serious. That's one thing that an RPG can do to like really turn me off it is like if it takes itself just too seriously
yeah.
and it's just like okay.
That's where games like Earthbound, I love the writing in Earthbound. I
Yeah.
love Super Mario. I love the whole idea of like Bowser joined the group because he wanted his castle back. And like that was the only reason he wanted. And like how like there's 2 or 3 instances where you run into Bowser before you recruit him.
Yeah.
And his clan is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you realize that everyone's like abandoning him. And then whenever you see the little graphic of him crying, and he's like trying not to let on that he's crying, and he's
Yeah.
like trying to be all tough. And then he tells Mario and them like, I'll let you join the Koopa troop. And it's
Yeah.
like that's not what you're just fucking using them to help you. You're not letting them join you at all.
Yeah.
Like that cracks me up. There's a point where you run into like a Goomba or something that had abandoned Bowser.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But then Bowser's like, don't worry about it. Like it humanizes Bowser too.
Yeah.
I really like this game is the one that made me a Bowser fan. They really did a good job with him in this. On one hand, they do make him look like this tough badass that can like break down doors and throw shit and stuff. But then on the other hand, they make him look like this idiot that just needs help because he's over his head.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And it really cracks me up. And then there's other little things like, do you remember the part where you can stand on the wedding cake? And then there's 2 Koopa Troopa chefs, and they'll like yell at you to get off of their cake. And then at the end, you have to fight this monstrosity of a cake.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? That dude with the beard that owns the tower.
Oh yes, yeah.
Is it
he was-
Booster?
yeah, I think it was Booster.
He's just like a slob.
Oh, but the sequence where you had to hide from him behind the curtains.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just like anxiety
Right?
the entire time.
It's so
And, like,
intense.
and like playing that section was a lot. It was hard. I'd say it was hard, but it was like it's doable.
Yeah.
Like if you did it for like 20 minutes, you'd get it.
Sure.
But it could still be frustrating. So much easier with save states if you're ever playing on like an
Yes.
emulator or anything.
Yep.
But like way back when we were still playing it on the Super Nintendo, yeah, you just had to be like, well, here we go.
Yeah. You'd climb all the way up that tower and then have to try that.
Yeah.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows about our illustrious CEO, my dog Molly. But the other silent partner behind the scenes is my wife. And let me tell you, my friends, a 17-year relationship with another person that has to talk to and live with you is a lot harder to maintain than one with a dog. We've had our ups and downs, and as you all know, a relationship isn't all sunshine and rainbows. They can be a lot of work. You get out what you put in when it comes to relationships, and talking to a therapist can be a fantastic way to put in some work. They can help you work through your issues, learn to communicate better, and even just provide you with an ear to bend when you need it. I've talked to my therapist about my relationships, especially when it came to my stand-up comedy career and how much I was away from home, and they helped me work on ways to keep my relationship strong even when I was out on the road. It turned out our relationship was actually better when I was out on the road, but that's a story for another day. And I know, right? Therapy. Who has the time these days? BetterHelp hears you, and they're making it easy. Fill out a quick form online, and they'll match you up with a therapist that suits your needs, and that'll work around your schedule. You pick the meet times, and you can get your therapy fix from anywhere, over video, phone, or just chat. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. Yeah, dude, there's so many. It's one of the rare RPGs where like the mini games in it are funner than, well, not funner, but they're as enjoyable as any other part of that game.
Yeah, they add to it.
Yeah, like that part where you got to hide behind the curtains, or like the minecart parts. You have to ride and steer it on the tracks of the minecart.
Yeah.
Or the part where you're running up the hill trying to catch up to Booster.
I remember the hill part too. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
it cracked me up. And then at the end of the whole Booster part, you fight him at the wedding, because that's where you fight the cake.
Yeah,
and then you have like 20 seconds or something to gather up all these like wedding supplies, and then that affects who Booster kisses.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And like I've seen the part where like Bowser kisses like Booster or something, and then Princess is laughing and Bowser gets the angry thing and then cries, and like that game makes me so happy just looking at it. It really cracks me up.
No, it's a joy to play, and like you said, it's got difficult sections, but it's probably for anyone, I would say, that likes video games and is familiar with playing anything that has like a little bit of skill level, it's playable.
It's definitely playable.
They'll beat it. They'll get a certain level of completion out of it, and like you'll get that sense of satisfaction.
Yeah,
that's something I think that we might be losing with modern video games now, is a sense of completion, because it's just like I watched my brother play Grand Theft Auto 5. That's an endless game.
Sure.
Like you could play that game infinitely, and especially if you've got it on the PC and you can get into all the mods. Like at one point, my brother was literally like playing as a like taxi driver.
Okay.
That's what he did. He didn't do missions.
Sure.
He didn't do crimes. He had a mod where he got calls, drove people to and from places, and then got money. He would stop at stoplights. He would indicate. It was nuts.
Like Sim Taxi.
It was like a Sim Taxi game, and he was getting so much out of it. And I was like, more power to you, I guess. But like, and so it was like, but there's no completion with that game. You're never done with that game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I love the sense of accomplishment I get being like, I have experienced a good portion of this game, and I did well. I got a good score.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. This is a complete tangent, but Super Metroid, one of my favorite things at the end is it told you how many of all those stupid little collectibles you got.
Yeah.
It was like, you scored an 80%. And I was like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Like that felt great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like
I get that. I like that too. I fucking like. I'm playing Skyrim on my Switch right now.
yeah.
I keep going back to it.
You're not playing it on your Bluetooth headphones? Like,
No,
that's a running joke.
Yeah, no. It's dude, that's my like. That's the okay. We won't go on a tangent about the Switch, but if there is one criticism of the Switch for me, it's that it's fucking give me my goddamn Bluetooth headphones. I don't even own any wired headphones. I have to like take it fucking wired. Fuck. But I'm playing Skyrim and it's the same thing. I really enjoy it's like finishing a book when I beat a video game and I beat it and then I take it out or whatever and I put it back on the shelf and I'm like, it's done.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling.
I also like being able to like go back and replay stuff.
Me too. Yeah.
Like I said, if I have like a modern game series that is doing that to me right now, it's Borderlands.
Right.
Like 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. I've been playing and replaying those games for periods of time over like the last 6 years.
Right.
Like it's dumb.
Right.
But I'm still enjoying it.
But
so
you like
much.
it, right? Yeah.
And those games, they have a main storyline that you play and you beat. And when the credits roll, I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Like I still get that sense of accomplishment.
Sure.
Whereas a game like World of Warcraft or Diablo or like GTA now GTA is endless. And like that seems to be the trend in games. Like I don't know if you've watched anything about Anthem or I don't even know because I'm not keeping up with them, but it's just like Destiny and stuff like that. They're just making these like gigantic games that are like impenetrable.
I prefer the old ones.
Yeah.
Like to tie it back to like even like with Mario RPG to tie it back. Like Mario RPG is a very linear RPG and I really like that. I just finished playing Final Fantasy 6, 3, whatever.
No, 6. Say 6.
6.
We all know the number.
It's 6. I just finished playing it and as great a game as it is, I don't enjoy the open worldness as much once you get to the world. Like you've played it, right?
Oh yeah.
When you get to the world of Ruin, you can go anywhere and recruit everyone. It's cool and it's fun to explore, but I really prefer my game to just be like a Mario RPG. There's not even like a huge world map. Like there's a little bit of a world map. It's like a horseshoe, but you just follow it around.
Yeah, you go to almost stages.
Yeah, I like that so much better. Just tell me where I got to go next. Keep the game moving. That's what I want. And when I do go back and explore, one of Mario RPG's biggest strengths is there's no fucking random encounters. You can see the villains coming, and if you don't touch them, you don't have to fight them.
Yeah,
and I love that.
That's one mechanic that certainly can be. It's very boring.
Yeah.
It's very arduous to be like, hey, I'm level 60 and I got to roll through this like level 40 area.
Yeah.
And I can't just turn off random encounters.
Like that ruins some exploration for me. You know what I mean?
you just want to get from point A to B. You can't enjoy anything. You don't go looking for extra items. You don't go over anywhere because you're like, I'm way above this place.
I feel like part of the reason I go as completionist on Mario RPG as I do is because it's so easy to explore. Actually, like just thinking about it now, like one of the best things about Mario RPG is the exploration. Like it's not just an RPG. They really did a good job of bringing elements of Mario into it. Like when you're playing on the, like not on the overmap where you're just going from world to world, but when you're in like a world and you're not in combat, it really does kind of feel like you're playing a Mario game. Like he runs around, he jumps, there's boxes, there's coins.
Yeah, you can still hit your head on stuff.
Yeah, I was like, this is very Mario-ish, you know?
And the way sort of like the camera is, it's got that like 2.5D isometric view. They like hide stuff in certain areas.
Yeah.
So like if you find like a little secret passageway that's quote unquote hidden, just because of the angle of the camera, like you can find like extra items and stuff like that, and like some of it's really useful.
Yeah, dude,
it's really rewarding when developers and stuff like that put that type of thing in a game, and you take the extra sort of like initiative to be like, what's down this passage? That feels really good.
I really like that they put there's like legitimate platforming challenges in Mario RPG.
Oh fuck,
there's a fucking part where you have to go across those donut bricks and they're shooting bullets at you.
I feel like this is the same thing. Yeah, I'm thinking about it too.
I love that. Or like there's a part where you have to
hated it because I sucked at it.
Or you have to scale the wall and you have to jump from parachupa to parachupa and climb up to the top of the fucking wall.
Oh god, yeah.
Like that kind of stuff is just like that's just that Nintendo charm. You know what I mean? Like it's something you don't find in a lot of other games.
Yeah. No, it's a solid game all around. It kept so much it retained so much elements and like even like gameplay elements of Mario.
Yeah.
But then it added in the RPG, and Square Enix put their or was it SquareSoft at that time?
I
Can't
guess,
remember.
Yeah.
They put their RPG spin on it, and it came out beautifully.
It's
I
perfect.
don't think I don't think it could be better.
No.
I think one of the greatest things that came from Super Mario RPG was Paper Mario.
I was gonna say that because I've always wanted like a direct sequel to Mario RPG,
Yeah.
like same style. Give me Geno and Mallow back.
Yeah.
Smithy the villain. Give us all. But the Paper Mario 64 and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
Were both fucking outstanding
Yeah,
games.
those are the closest things that you have to it, and they are great games.
They're perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted, like, I would love a direct sequel to Mario RPG, doing the same graphics if you have to, maybe like make them look a little cleaner. You know what I mean? Like you've come 30
But
years.
no, you're right. Do the same
Give us
isometric
that.
style.
Have Smithy come back. You know what I mean? Like let Mario and Bowser tag up again.
No.
I already talked about it. I mentioned it off the top, but like really one of my favorite things about this game is the storyline, especially as a kid, dude. Like you were playing, like I played Mario 1, 2, 3. I played Super Mario World, Mario Kart. I'd never played a Mario game where like you got to know the characters like this, where there was this much dialogue and they were all talking, and Bowser was human. I mean, not human, but he had a character, and like he had a soul to him, and
and that's all the SquareSoft side adding in to the Mario Nintendo side, and it just fit. It felt good.
yeah, it's a comfortable game. Like it just gives me this warm feeling. Like I just really enjoy. It's just comfortable to play.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna play it again.
Oh yeah, I'll play it
I'm
again.
gonna pick it up in the next like 5 years. I'll probably play it like 2 or 3 times.
And it's not too long. Like it's not a 60-hour grind. It's
that's definitely a huge bonus.
Yeah.
Because like RPGs, and especially some of the ones that I play that I really like, are like 80-hour playthroughs.
yeah, like Mario, dude. When I got my hands on that SNES Classic and fired up Mario, because I think I played Punch Out first and then Mario RPG. Because I love Super Punch Out. Oh, I should do one of these on Super Punch Out. But playing Mario RPG, it has save states on the SNES Classic, and you see how much time you've been playing. Yeah. And dude, I got to like the 3rd or 4th star. It was the pirate ship one,
okay,
which I think is the 4th star. And I finished it and saved, and I was at like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck? Because like as a kid, like I remember getting this game for Christmas, and this game lasted me like
weeks,
forever,
weeks, months.
You know. Now, granted, we didn't have the internet to look up how to just do everything back then either. So there was a lot of time wasted looking for stuff that you couldn't.
Also, this is the first time you're playing a game.
Yeah.
Like you're discovering it, and like your second playthrough is a lot faster. Your third playthrough is a lot faster.
Yeah.
Your 16th playthrough, like you're doing it because it warms a place in your heart, but you're not doing it. You're not taking your time.
No, and you're right. You're right, and that's like, dude, Mario RPG is one of those games now. It's comfort food for me.
Yeah.
But I could totally bomb through it in a day.
Yeah.
And it like probably up to about that pirate ship, because there's a lot of games like old games. I don't know if you're bad for this. I'm bad for like restarting an old game and then I never finish it. I just play it for a day because I felt like playing it, and then I don't.
I've
finish.
gotten better at that because I used to have like 5 or 6 games where I was like, I'd started it, I had played like 4 or 5 hours in each of them, and then just like never got back to it.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten better at being like, if I'm playing this game, playing it to completion, maybe I'm playing another game or replaying another game alongside of it.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing right now is I'm playing Final Fantasy 3 for the first time on the DS, and I'm replaying Borderlands 2 for the millionth time on my Xbox, because it's like if I want to just come home and like game for 30 minutes, easy peasy, pick up, put down Borderlands 2.
Sure. And that's where like a lot of those old Super Nintendo games fall in with me, like Mario RPG, Zelda, Mario World, all those games, because I've played them so many times. They are totally just like, I've had a long day and I just need to like unwind. I don't need any stress. And it's just so comfortable. And you're right. I'm like, I know exactly where to go. There's no surprises where I have to worry about dying, having to start over, because I know what villains are coming. And there's something cool about that. You know what I mean? There's something to be said about playing a game for the first time as well.
Yeah.
I'm playing Chrono Trigger right now.
Ooh,
and I played it once 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't remember anything.
No, man, that's a good one.
I'm having a blast with it right now. But there's just, you're right though, I don't feel as relaxed playing it as I do when I play something like Super Mario RPG, because I just know everything. It's such a fantastic game. I want a sequel so bad. like a legit sequel.
I don't think you're ever gonna get it.
I don't either. I cannot believe that they haven't done something with like Geno with all the requests. You know,
I think I could see them putting him into like one of their like mashup games. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why he's not in like Mario Party or Mario Kart. Or,
Yeah.
like people would go nuts for that.
yeah, they totally would. I don't know, like,
I mean,
'cause I
like,
want to know who owns them. Like, does Nintendo own Geno or does Square own Geno?
I don't know.
Like,
Like,
it was
even if they did, I mean, like they put Cloud in Smash Bros. Like,
yeah, they could do something with him
like,
if they wanted to.
I feel like Square Enix and Nintendo are probably closer as far like they have a fairly good working relationship.
Yeah.
As far as like game developers go, I mean, like I don't know, they've put so many characters into Smash Bros. Like I was really surprised when they put Bayonetta in there.
Me too.
I was
yeah.
like, who did you talk to?
Dude, Smash has become a monster of its own with some of the characters they're putting. It used to just be Nintendo mascots, and now it's fucking like
Now it's as many people as they can get in there.
yeah. Like I mean, we won't go on a Smash tangent. I had lunch with my nephew this past week. He was here, and we were talking Smash. He's a Smash fanatic, and we were talking about the characters that haven't been announced yet that we think are still coming. And we both agreed that maybe it wasn't initially in their plan, but due to backlash, Waluigi is coming to Smash Brothers. I would bet money.
Good.
That Waluigi shows up.
Yeah, because like I was mad.
Everyone was mad that Waluigi's such a weird character.
How dare you?
But I think that Crash Bandicoot shows up as well.
Ooh, yeah.
But I would like Geno, like give us something with Geno. God damn it. I would love like if you gave me the money and we're like, yo, you can make a sequel to Mario RPG. What do you want to do? It would involve all the original, maybe not Mallow, probably Mallow for fucking the sake of Mallow, but like give us the 5 original characters, but then add in like Luigi and add in Wario and like add in more of the other characters.
What did Luigi do in Super Mario RPG?
Literally nothing.
He like sat in Mario's house.
There's one
He was
scene.
house sitting.
There's one. Do you remember when you go to the Star Hill or Star Road or whatever it is, where it's like that all those blue domes, and you got to get the star piece, and you can go from like wish to wish and read people's wishes, which was really cleverly done because there's people like there's one from Bowser saying how he wishes he had his castle back and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a wish from Luigi, and he says something about how he wishes he was brave like his brother, and that's the only thing they like. God, they shit on Luigi so much.
Like, yeah. I'm really happy that character got his own games, those like Haunted Mansion games.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansions. Yeah.
I never got around to playing through them, but I kind of regret that because I do hear like a lot of like good feedback.
They're supposed to be
response from them.
They're supposed to be dope. I haven't played one either.
I mean, like I still have an old Wii that can play GameCube games.
Yeah.
So I might be able to snag one up from like the secondhand store. Or
probably get it pretty cheap too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's smart. I forgot that we played GameCube games.
Certain versions.
Yeah.
I think it was like 3rd or 4th generation. They took it out.
Yeah. My first one, I don't think I ever used it, but my first one did that. No. When I first bought one, I thought it was so cool, and then I never used it.
The only reason I got it is because like I have a chunk of GameCube games that I just like. I'm not okay not having access to them.
Right.
I want to be able to play them. I might never play them again, but I like having them there. One of my favorite absolute niche RPGs on the GameCube is one called Bait and Kados, and it's got such a weird battle system, and its storyline is weird. The big spoiler, because you're not gonna care.
Never play it.
The big spoiler about like halfway through is that your main protagonist, he gets what he wants. Like he has wings or some crap, and one of his wings gets chopped off when he's a kid, and he has like a mechanical wing.
Okay.
And then like the storyline is him finding out who he is and like getting his powers back and stuff like that. And he gets that at the end of the first disc. And then he just turns around and says to the rest of the party, "I don't need you anymore." And he turns into the bad guy.
Oh, sick. That's pretty rad.
And he takes all the equipment that he had on him, and it's like, so he takes all the good cards and stuff like that. Okay, so the battle system is a deck of cards.
Okay.
And so you equip your characters with decks, and then they play them.
Oh,
and
okay.
depending on how you play them, your attacks and your defense change. Like, it's actually a very complicated battle system, but very gratifying once you like get your head around it.
Okay.
But yeah, he leaves with everything, and then like you start the second disc, and you're just like, you're in jail. Your probably one of the weakest characters is now the protagonist, and you have to like go around rebuilding the party to
That's rad.
go
I
fight
like
the
that.
protagonist. It's insane.
If Mario RPG had one fault, and I guess this hadn't really been done when this game came out, there was no huge plot twist. Tomorrow, like the biggest plot twist was probably that Mallow wasn't actually a tadpole, and it was like
Which
that was
like
pretty
surprising to no one.
Yeah, and you're like, oh really? Like as soon as you get to the cloud world,
You're like, he's
oh,
a fucking cloud.
this is where he's from. Yeah, I like when he casts spells and he jumps out of his pants, but his pants just sit there in motion. Like his pants sit perfectly still, and he just floats and casts his spells. Fuck yeah! If it has a criticism, that's it. But I think it's just like it's like it's not meant to be. Like you said, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's fun. It's very chill. It's not like scary. It's not overwhelming. It's fun to watch those characters interact with each other in a way that isn't just jumping on each other's heads like it is with most Mario games.
Yeah.
I love like I want to replay it again. Like I'll never get bored of replaying Mario RPG.
No, I definitely I feel the same way about it. Yeah.
Usually what I do is I ask people to give a game a score out of 10, and you can use decimal points if you want.
Oh, okay.
What would you give
This one's
Mario?
definitely a 9.
9? Yeah, I'll go 9.5. It's fucking the only I can't think of anything wrong with it. I really can't think of a single thing about it that I would change.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever give any game a 10. I don't think I can do that. So 9's a super high score.
That's perfect. Yeah, I gave Super Mario World a 10 because it's my favorite, and I'm like now nothing else gets 10s. But
in the realm of like because like platformers are like, well, it's tough. It's tough to be like a better platformer because it's such a refined genre. So like Super Mario World I'd say is way up there. I would say Super Meat Boy is a better platformer though.
See,
it's so hard.
Super Meat Boy is pretty solid,
difficult.
Dude. I love platformers, and I think that's part of the reason I love Mario RPG so much is because I can play it. It's my two favorite genres of video games combined.
Yeah,
you know,
still good elements of platforming in it. Like, it's such a great blend of the two genres. They somehow mix them perfectly.
Yeah, they really like. It's not. They didn't just take the Mario characters and put them into a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah,
they just like it's like they really took like Final Fantasy and Mario and put them in a bowl and like blended it.
Yeah,
and got this perfect combo. Like it
makes a sweet soup brownie.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Okay, man. Well, that'll do it for Super Mario RPG. So thanks for nerding out with me about Mario RPG. And I would like to point out that you and I not once after initial talk of Mallow brought up how sweet Mallow is, because Mallow fucking sucks. I know my friend Chris is listening to this. Mallow is the Super Mario RPG version of Vivi. They're both garbage.
Fuck you. I love Vivi.
So does Chris. I fucking hate Vivi. Okay, thanks, buddy. That's going to do it for another episode of Remember the Game, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I love Super Mario RPG, as you could probably tell from the last half hour or so of this podcast. If you haven't played it, you are crazy. Get out there and try it. Even if you're not big into RPGs, there's some Mario elements to this game. It's awesome. It's fun. It's not just reading and mashing. I guess it is reading and mashing buttons, but it's a more fun way of doing that. That's it, you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope you do, please keep the good reviews and keep the shares coming. I'm getting so much great feedback on it. It means the world to me to know that you guys are having as much fun listening as I am doing them. I'm really, really having fun with this podcast. So that is it. I will check in with you guys again next Wednesday as we remember another game. Thank you so much for listening. I am Adam Blank, and I will talk to you again soon. Take it easy.